Welcome. This is Alfred Lambermont Weber, and today we have a very special guest, Magnus Olsson, who is the director of the European Coalition Against Covert Harassment at eucach.org. Welcome, Magnus.
Thank you very much, Alfred.
Now, we've interviewed you and a panel of your fellow workers at the European Coalition, Dr. Henning Vita, who's your legal director, and Melanie Richan, who's your director of information and communications. And I know that you wanted to come on today for a very direct message to communicate to our audiences how this transhumanist agenda with the technological advances in human robotization and implant can affect the individual. So please share that with us.
A very short resume is mind control in general is exploding around the globe right now, and people are connected to supercomputers that are actually managed by artificial intelligence. Not only, but the biggest parts. To be a victim, to be a connected person, is a complete destruction of life and health. And of course, your personality and your identity get very, very hard, and you become different in many ways. What they did to me 2 days ago was that they are able to manipulate your dreams and direct your dreams too. And this they have done to me for several years now. But what happened 2 days ago was that actually they switched off my ability to breathe. So I couldn't breathe. So I woke up and was almost suffocating. I got blue in the face, and I thought I should die. But anyway, I survived. And this destructive ways of manipulating the human body and mind is awful, and it's really tough to get the feeling. For example, when they put pressure in your head, your brain swallows up, and you get a pressure that is awful, and it feels like your brain is actually boiling. They can manipulate all kind of body functions, and they have done that for me in thousands of different kind of ways. I have even got blood in my eye whites when they put this pressure. When this pressure gets so intense that even you can see the blood strings in your eye whites.
And so this comes from implants that have come in through the chemtrails. In your case, You were a successful businessman. You're in Stockholm, Sweden, and you went to the hospital, correct? For
Yes,
yes, and when you emerged, this is when all this started happening, correct?
yes, that's correct. And I mean, in the beginning, they were just extending my thoughts, so I couldn't actually. I did not understand that there was something wrong. But after a while, they started to extend my thought in different directions, and I could then be aware of that something is very wrong here. My thoughts are getting very strange, and they use an agenda that is I can't even tell you here what they do and what they say through the synthetic telepathy. It's also called artificial telepathy or voice to skull. But the voice blooms up suddenly, and you can hear it exactly loud and clear, like somebody was speaking to you, standing next to you. And they are oftenly they use different kind of setups. They were mock executing me hundreds of times. They tried to get me into dramas that was complete madness. And this is to explore the brain and the capabilities of your own firewall. Your own firewall you have to build up by yourself. Number one is that you have to have very good condition. I run around 5 kilometers every day, and since I started with that, it's much easier to handle the attacks, because when they do use the transmagnetical overstimuli, they can pinpoint different areas of your brain and evoke whatever potential that they actually desire. And as you understand, this is a behavior control program that are being developed right now. So they had to try, and they are using it to the maximum in all kind of directions. They are studying, they are using the connection for your body functions too. It's not just the mind manipulation and control. It's also different kind of parts of your whole body can you can get extreme pains in different parts without no reason at all. So this technology, if you call it behavior control and the thought police and so on, they are trying to put in criminal thinking. They are doing that to be able to control a person who is criminal, and they are developing these systems right now. So it's exactly like Orwell mentioned in his book in 1984. Actually, George Orwell was in the committee of future strategical planning, and he was attending a couple of meetings where they actually decided in the 50s, in the end of the 50s, 1950, they decided that they should go for this kind of development. And as I have discovered right now is that there is thousands of people just in the north of Europe that are victimized and are tortured extremely at a very extreme level. They can also, of course, kill a person. So the agenda is horrific, and it's a mad game, and I mean the transhumanism and the perfect life, the soul catcher, and the guardian angels. This is names of this kind of technology. When it's going to be presented to the general public, it will be marketed as an enhancement of your brain functions, your body functions, and everything. Because you can also use this technology for the better for the humankind, but in the development and it's just about control. So anyway, the soul catcher and that's the British Telecom project. And then you have the Guardian Angels project, that is a subdivision of the Human Brain Project in Europe. It's under the 7th Framework Program, and the Guardian Angels is the idea of it is that you get an implant from birth to death, and it can help you through your life and help you in all complex life situations. So this will be marketed, and criminals will probably in the future, and a lot are already implanted. But when you look on the broad picture with aerosol spraying, or what it is called generally is chemtrails, it is I mean, there was a report that I read, a quite fresh report from Harvard University, where they actually analyzed the nano particles, and it was a very advanced system, and it's self-assembling. It bores through your lungs when you breathe it in, and then it goes through the blood barrier, and then when it's in the bloodstream, it attaches itself to the right frequencies in your brain, and then you are connected to the mainframe computers for control, registration, and behavior modification.
Right.
And the thought police is already here.
Right. Now, who do you feel? So there's a complex system of what you've called a supergrid of these computers that are operating, and an artificial intelligence. So who do you feel is, for example, behind your attack 2 nights ago? Is that an artificial intelligence that was scanning you and said it's time to attack you? Or is that a particular surveillance team, a human surveillance team? What's your sense?
Well, from time to time, this is controlled by controllers, by people. You can distinguish very easy when it's about the artificial intelligence, because the artificial intelligence is not that advanced yet, but it is anyway very, very advanced. It actually is learning right now, and they call it that your brain is a pipe to Mr. Computer. Mr. Computer is something that NSA calls their artificial intelligence. Mr. Computer is just married to one of the first super computers that is based upon quantum supercomputers. So I mean, they are building actually a whole town, a surveillance center right now, and the brains around the world is just called pipes to the mainframe, Mr. Computer, and Mr. Computer can have to learn all languages around the world. It has to learn about the different cultures around the world to be able to operate correctly. So this is carried out by the synchronized satellite systems and also the HARP systems that are actually covering the whole world today. And the British space research have just finished their new satellites, and they are 10 by 10 centimeters big, and it doesn't cost anything to send them into orbit. And when it is in the right, when they place the satellite in the stratosphere at the right distance, it actually follows you, pinpoint you, and can follow you. So the British space research facilities are already building and testing the nano-sized satellites, and they even said in a documentary that I recently saw that in the future all persons on Earth can have his own or her own satellite, and that's just a part of it. I mean, the ground-based systems are very, very advanced as well. And then this is working together with the power grid system, the RF modulated power grid systems are working together with the HARP systems and the satellite systems. So there's nowhere on Earth you can get a shelter from this. And the scalar waves, which a lot of people say it doesn't exist, I have proof. There is a professor, a German professor, that even sells kits to universities right now, proving how scalar waves operate. And the scalar wave is almost impossible to shield yourself from. And one thing that can help the situation for a targeted individual is to eat gold, aurum metallicum. It's a homeopathic gold that actually strengthen your own frequencies and give you some relief.
Where can targeted individuals get hold of this homeopathic gold?
The homeopathic gold, you have to check in your own country. Otherwise, you can order it by mail. It does not cost so much. It's quite cheap. And my recommendation is to get in hold of it and take it each morning and each night. The D30 and the D200 and the C potence is also very good.
Are these like drops, or is it a powder, or what exactly is it?
No, it is like small, very small. It's round. It's small round things. It's almost like it tastes like candy because it's sugar. So it should go out in your system.
Now, you were mentioning that this attack on you 2 nights ago, which would have been October 29th, 2013, that occurred when your supply of homeopathic gold was low, just for supply reasons. So that suggests that either the artificial intelligence or human monitors are monitoring you and then taking action on that monitoring. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I ran out of homeopathic gold, and then this attack occurred. The artificial intelligence, it's very important to understand that a lot of targeted individuals do not understand that they are actually connected to artificial intelligence. They believe that there is just operators, but the system is built just to operate by artificial intelligence, because it says by itself that it's impossible that there should be a controller for every person that are connected. So the system is fed, and as the information I got, the latest one was from Russia today, and they said that Mr. Computer, the NSA super mainframe, actually can handle all languages in the world. So, and even 6 languages that are dead. So the monstrous capabilities of this kind of technologies are not to underestimate. This is real, and this is happening now. And the question is it going to be possible to avoid or not be connected in the future? But as I heard, the latest report from a scientist was actually that around 80% of the world's population is already equipped with this aerosol, the chemtrail, smart dust. They call it smart dust, and it's proven, and it's a system that is have been under development since the 60s. So they have come so far today. So a lot of people cannot differ from the personal operators and artificial intelligence.
So that actually the purpose of the chemtrails, around which there's a tremendous denial function, is that in the chemtrails there are actually these nanobots which enter into which the humans breathe in, the population breathes in, and it jumps the blood, that gets into the bloodstream, it jumps the blood-brain barrier, and then those frequencies get into the brain, and it means that those individuals are then implanted and are entrained into the artificial intelligence super grid. Is that essentially what the worldwide the worldwide chemtrail system has done? Is to implant about 80% of the world population, is what you're saying?
Yes, that's correct. What they call this is microdust weaponry. It's a mechanical analog to micron-sized mechanized dust, which is distributed as an aerosol and inhaled into the lungs. And as they say, by themselves, they say that this can execute various pathological missions, and it's a wholly new class of weaponry which is legal. That's how they pronounce it.
Right, right. So you mentioned the NSA. So it sounds like the superstructure behind this is a transnational superstructure incorporating the NSA, incorporating the British, incorporating, I've even noticed that there are Norwegian, the Tromsø, Norway heart facility. There's 17 heart facilities throughout the world. Chemtrails are being sprayed throughout the world. There are many different air forces that are involved. There are even UFOs that are human-made UFOs that are camouflaged as airplanes that are spraying the UFOs. So this seems to be the, quote, New World Order. That is a transnational, transgovernmental infrastructure that is carrying forward the transhumanist agenda. Is that what you understand?
Oh yes, that's about exactly how the situation is right now, and the multinational corporations are involved in the development. I mean, the 70 to 80% of the military actions and research today is privatized, and there is one very interesting point in this, is that Mr. Bill Gates actually owns the patent of the body as a medium, as an antenna. And that was mentioned in the 2005 report from the European Commission on ICT implants. And there they said quite clearly that this is a new unknown area, and we do not know what we should approve and what we should not approve. So, I mean, the nanotechnology today is not regulated at all. There is no thing in the law books today about how you can use the nanomicro dust weaponry. So as they sell by themselves, they say that this is legal today. They can carry this out, but the torture and it's really severe torture. I know a lot of people that have been committing suicide because they can't live with this, and the symptoms are very very heavy in the psychological way, but also for your complete, all of your complete body functions.
So then, in a certain sense, those who say that the transhumanist agenda is a great thing, say the 2054 group or the Ray Kurzweils, that's sort of a propaganda front with saying, is that how you take it, or what?
I could make a little short revenue about what for example, the movement 2045 is orchestrated by Ray Kurzweil, and Ray Kurzweil is also the chief developer, technical developer for Google, and his visions has always, his predictions has always been right before, and he calls it the singularity. The singularity means that the machines get much more advanced and intelligent than the human brain. And for example, there is a guy called Theodore Berger, and he is also in this movement 2045, and he has already been able to execute experiments that actually, one of them is called a mind melt. He made a mind melt between one rat in New York and one rat in London. And they could use each other's memories, and they could, so to speak, be as one. And he has also succeeded with the memory extension implant. The memory extension implant has no limitations of how much data and information you can actually empower your human brain with. And it's actually possible to switch it off and on as well. So in the future, if you need a degree, a master, a university, or whatever, you can download it in a couple of days instead of going through school or university for several years. He has also done another one, and that one is called the sixth, seventh, and the eighth senses. He managed in one experiment actually to make a rat see infrared. So I mean, to empower the human capabilities with such devices is going to be quite common in the future, and the transhumanist agenda is marketing themselves, and one of their goals is immortality, and immortality in their way of explaining it is actually that you do a mind uploading into a supercomputer. That means that you can transfer your brain from your consciousness. You can transfer it from one side of the world to the other side in couple of seconds. And why the British Telecom got so many billions of pounds to develop the soul catcher chip was actually because England is the richest country in the world, as we all know. They want to colonize the rest of the universe as well, and to do that they have to come up with immortality, and this founding was already starting in the 90s, and the reports of their success has just been it has not been disclosed. So nobody knows actually if they already succeeded. And I mean, why they do this is just because then you can put your consciousness into a machine and you do not need water, you do not need food and oxygen. So you can go out in a machine and discover the rest, discover new planets and new galaxies and so on. So there is a race, of course, and the 2045 movement is founded and started. There is a billionaire, a Russian billionaire that started it all, and they have pinpointed and collecting and put together a group of scientists, professors, and engineers and so on, and they also say that they will manufacture a body, a robot body that you can transfer your consciousness into and become immortal. And this sounds like science fiction and so on, but this is for real. This is happening right now, and who is leading this, and who is operating this, and the world new order, die neue Weltordnung. I mean, they have advanced very, very far, much longer than a normal human can actually understand.
But,
and the systems, the grids and so on that is there to support. I mean, the scalar waves, it actually goes straight through the Earth. There's nothing to stop it.
right, and so that agenda is something that either the 2045 people are not being targeted, because if we get back to the attack that you suffered 2 nights ago on October 29th, what was that motivated around? Let's look at what the European coalition is doing. Number one, you're doing open testing of the public to see for RF frequencies, to see if they're being implanted. And my understanding is that at the most recent test last week in Brussels, all of the members of the public that showed up, I was told by Melanie Vrichon, your public relations director, were actually exhibiting RF frequencies. That is, they are implanted, and these percentages are going up. So
Yes.
you're actually making that information public. That the true transhumanist agenda is implanting the world, and their agenda is control.
Yes, that's right. And you can call it like a shadow government that is operating completely in the silence. I mean, when you speak about new world order and things like it gets almost too much for people to believe. But there is so many facts right now. There is the Bilderberg group, uh, which were exposed by Daniel Esterlin. And Daniel Esterlin contacted me for around half a year ago, and he made an interview with me, a documentary about mind control, and as it also is called, remote neural viewing. And as it seems right now, we do not have any kind of protection. We can, of course, eat the gold that makes the situation better, but I mean the Faraday cage that was newly certified, that I was there was a measurement on me in Brussels, and it showed up that there were actually penetrating the Faraday cage, and we measured hundreds of different kind of spectrum frequencies.
Right. So, so your group now is beginning to really be very effective in this area. And could you describe some of the activities that the European Coalition is engaged in?
Yes, I got a very good message today from the World Organization Against Torture. They have one parliamentary guy also in the EU Parliament, and we will have a meeting with them in 2 weeks. We also do lobbying towards the Parliament. Because we had to go through the Parliament and then it goes to the Commission. And the Libe Committee, I got a letter from them today actually, saying that the NSA surveillance scandal is much deeper than they could ever imagine. So this question is very, very relevant for the moment. I mean, when NSA and the Snowden the whistleblower Snowden actually has a lot more to disclose. So I mean, of course, this agenda. When we talk about the mind connections, will be disclosed. It's just a question of when it's going to be disclosed. But there is a lot of journalists and press that is getting more and more interested in this field, and for example, there will be an article serial of articles in a German technological paper that goes out to 10 million people. So of course our lobbying work is is giving a lot of results, and we are moving in the right direction.
Very good. Very, very good. What would you like to say to our audience, which is our audience is very wide. It's composed of individuals who have been targeted. It's composed of people who want to know more. And what message would you like to leave with them?
The first thing is that the integrity of the human brain has to be the question number one. We have to disclose, and we have to get the right information. The right information is out there. It might be hard to find, but the Russia Today interviewed the documentary. For example, I should recommend you to have a look at it, because it says a lot, and this is just the beginning of a new era, and we have to control it. The people, the normal citizens, has to be able to make a choice by yourself. There should not be any mass control on the earth, on the total earth, so to speak. And the NSA is one of the operators. There is NASA that is developing tools for them. There is DARPA, there's CIA, there is FBI, and of course you have the English intelligence services that are very advanced in their equipment too. And they are co-working, as you said, Alfred. This is a collaboration around the globe, because what I have discovered doing all this all this work that I have done is that the targeting is almost identical around the whole globe. So, of course, there is an agenda that they are following, and we need to disclose it. We need to be able to have a voice and say yes or no.
Right. So what you've described really is kind of the Anglo-American bloc, and in particular, the UK monarchy and the City of London, that is the engine behind it, with its American subcontractors in the Rockefeller Group, Wall Street, Washington, the NSA, and that military-industrial complex. That's really the engine. And then whatever's happening at the multi-dimensional level. How can people get in contact with you and with the European coalition?
Well, we have a website called aircache.org, and there is a few keywords that you can use if you are searching on the net, and that's neuroscience, advanced neuroscience, cybernetics, artificial intelligence, neurochips, transhumanism, the cyborgs, the robotics, the somatic surveillance, behavior control, and of course the thought police and human enhancement. But you can also support us by becoming a member of AirCache, and there is a section for you to fill out on the website.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, we look forward to coming back to you from time to time, so that you can update us on this very important and vital area of keeping the human spirit and indeed the human species alive. Thank you for the work that you do, Magnus, and thank you for participating with us today.
Thank you very much, Alfred.
Thank you.